everyone. Welcome to another edition of PowerCore Productions and Podcastings. And in today's video, we're going to be continuing Naruto DxD, Sage Reborn. What if Naruto was in High School DxD, Season 3, Part 3. As always, if you're new to the channel or if you're regular and like what we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that has to come out now and in the future. So now as we go into Part 3, we are almost at the end of Season 3 for this series. And again, I know that for some of you, you might think you know where the story is going, but there are definitely going to be a lot of twists and turns that you should keep your eye out on as we continue on into this story. Also, I know some people have been wondering, am I going to go beyond the Season 4? And yes, there will be more seasons, not just Seasons 4. I am trying to do around 5 or 6, maybe close it off at 7 if possible. Given everything we know now with the Naruto story and with the events taking place in Boruto, I think I've found a way for the series to come to an end on its own. Now, of course, with the High School DxD anime, there is the potential for a Season 5 down the line. So maybe I'll continue it in the future, maybe I won't, I don't really know for sure, but that's just the time frame I'm looking to do right now, but don't hold me to it because things could always change. But anyway, let's get into today's video. So as always, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. It was the end of yet another school day, as both Naruto and Issei walked to the Occult Research Club. The school year had already begun, and there were many new activities for everyone to get involved in. Of course, to Naruto's surprise, his heavenly brother from another mother, along with his other angelic compatriots, were also joining the Occult Research Club. Azazel explained that with the new alliance taking form, and with the ever-growing forces of the Chaos Brigade, it was a way of bolstering the strength in numbers. For Naruto and his group, they served as this city's front line of defense on the outside world. As such, it was up to everyone to try to protect it in their own way. As Naruto and Issei arrived, they saw that most of the others had already been there. Asuya and Reiner were serving tea to everyone, with Akano helping with other duties along with Rias. There were also the newer faces of the club, Veronica, Kiryu, and Irina, members of the Angel set along with Issei. Everyone was taking the time to be cordial, to get acquainted with one another, and to introduce themselves properly. Also, it was a way for them to learn a lot more about the Angel side of things, and how their powers worked. While the Devil faction used the chess system, the Angel faction used a deck of cards, each one having their power given to them based off of the rank of the card that they received. For Irina, she had an ace. However, her ace was the Ace of Hearts. Veronica had an ace, which was the Ace of Diamonds. And Kiryu had an ace that was the Ace of Clubs. Naturally, everyone assumed that Issei would be given the Ace of Spades. After all, they were a 4-angel set, and the ace was one of the more powerful cards in the deck, so it was only believed that he would complete the set of 4, kind of like the 4 Horsemen or something to that effect. However, Issei was prone to keeping his card identity a secret. Veronica would just blatantly state that he was not an ace at all, and instead he was a joker. This brought some laughter amongst everyone in the room, as Issei really didn't like the idea of being referred to as a joker. However, Irina would explain that contrary to popular belief, the Joker is actually the second most powerful card in the deck besides the King itself. Of course, with Michael actually being the King, and with Issei serving under him, he actually would serve as the second strongest. This made Naruto think about his own situation in a way. Despite being a pawn for Rias, he was considered to be one of the more stronger pieces within her own system. So in a way, the brothers kind of shared the same fate of sorts. Of course, Issei would only go on and on about the fact that most of the world never really recognized it like that. More often than not, people often sat the Joker card to the side or just tossed it out, when that was totally unfair. The Joker card was an amazing card to have, and he was proud to be one. The Joker, the Golden Dragon Emperor himself. A title that he held with pride, along with the title of being the pervy Golden Dragon Emperor, but that's another story for another day. In either regard, there were other things to attend to in the club as well. For one, there was the fact that Rosvisa, the Valkyrie for Odin, was still stuck with them, mainly because of the fact that Odin had basically left her behind, and well, she was going through a midlife crisis already, as it were. But there was also another matter to attend to. It happened one day while Naruto and Asuya were walking home, and they ran into someone that Asuya had forgotten about. He was a young-looking man, but someone who was not from this world. In fact, he was from the underworld. His name was Theodore Astaroth of the Astaroth family, one of the noble families of the underworld. But also, he had a very close connection to Asuya. You see, when Asuya had told them the story of how she had come to be, how she had been excommunicated for healing a fallen devil, and how it led her into the palms of Reborn, and then eventually into the life of Naruto. Of course, Asuya didn't regret any of the decisions she had made. After all, it's what led her to where she was now, and she couldn't be any more happier than she already was. But for Naruto, there were times when he couldn't help but wonder if this was really the life for her. By nature, Asuya was a kind and gentle soul. She wasn't a fighter, and she wasn't a proponent for violence, but she was such a great help to everyone around her. For Naruto, sometimes he wondered if maybe things would have been better if they had never met, and he wasn't the only one who shared that sentiment. When Naruto talked about how he felt to Reborn would honestly express how she felt the same. After all, at one time, she was everyone's enemy. Truthfully, in another world, she probably would have died tragically earlier on and been completely forgot about. But Naruto gave her a second chance, a second lease on life. It wasn't just him she was grateful for, though, it was Asuya. Despite all the awful things she had done to Asuya, including taking the girl's life, she had still forgiven her. If she could be forgiven, then it only encouraged Reborn to do the best that she could. And in a way, Naruto was happy for that. To see that someone could change, that people can change, that there were people in this world that he could have faith in. For Naruto, he was happy for the bonds he had made in this world, the friends he had met, all of the allies he gained, through all the hardships and the adversities, through everything that he had had to endure. He knew he couldn't have gotten this far on his own. He wondered if this is what it was like to be in a ninja village, to have people who could stand beside you. He wondered what it could ever be like to have a village of one's own, making him think more and more about the world that he had come from. But for now, he could put those feelings aside and focus on mainly what was important: his friends, his family, and all of those he loved and held dear. In the meantime, the school was getting ready for the upcoming sports festival, and everyone was getting into the spirit of competition. Naruto and Issei were doing some stretches as they were all going to be involved in their own competitions. Issei had tried to throw the idea of there being a wet t-shirt contest, but his idea quickly got shot down. Although Issei was not too disheartened, as he was enjoying some other activities. For one, there was going to be a girls' foot race. Irina and Zenobia, being the close friends that they were going at it head to head, and Veronica was tied up with them. Seeing those lovely pair of globes bounce up and down as the girls ran up and down the track had Issei's full attention. As Naruto walked over to his brother, he couldn't help but wonder what he saw in Veronica, though. Are you kidding me? A long silver-haired goddess. She's more than I can handle. But she doesn't like you. Ah, come on, she just says that. You know she loves me. Yeah. So what exactly do you want? I mean, in life. You heard my goal. I'm gonna be the harem king of heaven. I mean, I'm already in paradise. A harem? Seriously? That's what you want? Don't look at me like that. You have your own, don't you? Huh? Oh, come on. Don't tell me you don't notice. Or are you some dumb protagonist in some weird anime that can't ever tell when people have feelings for you and you just go around being oblivious for a long time, never taking notice of the fact that a multitude of beautiful, lovely, fragacious girls all have their eyes on you and they practically throw themselves at you half naked in every situation. And it drags on year after year, kind of like dragging on for seasons and seasons at a time. And then it goes all the way until the story finally hits its conclusion, where in the end of the day, you either pick one girl or you end up picking no one at all and you leave everyone with blue balls. Yeah, you watch way too much anime if you think my life is like that. Oh, shut it. I'm telling the truth and you know it. Rias, Akano, Rainier, Asia, Konako, Zenobia, they all have a thing for you. You'd have to be a completely blind idiot not to see it. I know that already. Huh? Wait, you do? Bro, then why haven't you done anything? Come on, all of that sweet, satisfying temptation, and you haven't tried to have any of it yet? Come on, what's the point of living wild and free if you're not going to taste any of that forbidden fruit? First off, it's about having control. I respect my comrades and my friends. I'm not just going to leer at them just because they give me the opportunity. You watch them from time to time, don't you? What? I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, I bet you don't, you ninja bastard. You probably go in and out all the time without them noticing, don't you? Let me see your phone right now. Naruto turned bright red at this, as he didn't want anyone going through his personal contacts. However, even for the ninja like Naruto, he had to not underestimate his brother, as Issei was crafty enough to grab it. Naruto trying desperately to grab back the phone as Issei started running through some of the photos. At first, everything seemed fine and normal until they got a little more risky, and then a lot more risky. And then if it wasn't for those damn light beams and freaking steam clouds, they were hiding all the good parts. You are a perv. Shut up! Naruto grabbed back his phone from Issei before hitting him upside the head. Huh. No matter how much of a noble act you try to put on, you're no better than me. Look, I respect them, alright? I respect my principles. You don't think I haven't thought about it? You don't think I've ever had the dream of just being able to go in there and just do whatever I want? It's been going through it for so long, it's starting to drive me insane. But no, I try to live by certain principles, certain standards. You mean the shinobi prohibitions? Yes, I will not break my prohibitions. I mean, if I got married, then it would be a different story. What? You mean you're actually waiting till marriage? I'd expect you to, angel boy. Well, I mean, I'm just, sometimes I wonder if maybe you and I got stuck in the wrong roles. Huh? What do you mean? I mean, come on, let's just be honest. If anyone should be the Red Dragon Emperor and be involved with Rias and everyone else, sometimes I kind of think it's you. Yeah, I get what you mean. Your dim-witted Boy Scout act, you'd probably be the perfect angel. You know, maybe there's an alternate world where I did become the Red Dragon Emperor, Issei would say. Yeah, like that'll ever happen. Naruto's palm would glow as Dreg was speaking. I agree. Morgana would speak from Issei's palm. Good to see you, little sister. Little sister? Naruto would say. Yes, the dragons are all siblings of sorts. The 4 great dragons are all siblings. Albion is my brother, along with our other brother who has yet to awaken, Susanoo. And then there's our little sister, the golden dragon, Morgana. Yes, and they have to always add the little sister part to it. It gets annoying. It is a truth that you must accept. Well, I guess you and I are connected in a lot of ways, Naruto would say to Issei. Yeah, I guess we are. Anyway, I'm gonna leave you to it with Asuya. You got a 3-legged race to win. Although you might want to try hiding the 3rd leg, you know. Shut up! Don't you have somewhere to be? Yeah, I do. I gotta get ready for the swimming competition. You know, the relay is gonna be with boys and the girls. Oh, God! Veronica would punch Issei in the gut. If you plan on doing something perverted, I'll make you regret it. Veronica! Why? You know why. Kiryu would walk behind Veronica as she smiled. Don't worry, Issei, my boy. She likes you. See? I told you! Oh, God! She got me in the nuts! Oh. In either regard, Naruto would join with Asuya as they continued practicing for the 3-legged race, their improvement getting better and better over time. Of course, they had to get a new rope since the old rope they were using ended up breaking, and as they made their way to the storage closet, they would be ambushed. It was Zenovia. Zenovia had joined them because she wanted to try something. It was known as an underworld 3-way. Of course, Asuya, being the prim and proper girl that she was, didn't fully understand that terminology, but Naruto was completely aware. And Zenovia was not making it easy as immediately shirts started flying, things started rolling out, certain areas started getting exposed. All of this was starting to become too much for Naruto. No, he couldn't give in. He couldn't give in to this temptation, this sweet, sweet temptation. This blue-haired girl, she probably got off on putting people in situations like this. But at the same time, was Naruto being too prude? Did he not want to do it? I mean, what would be wrong if he gave in? But then he remembered. He remembered those days training in the astral planes of his mind, with the remnants of the souls of his mother and father still within him. He remembered the mother of his soul being like a raging inferno, warning him to always live an upstanding and moral life, not to give in to the depravities of man. With great power came great responsibility, or something like that. Maybe he read it in a book once, but in all the same, he remembered. A boy should not play around with a girl's heart. He should not do things so improper unless he plans to be a true man and take responsibility and make an honest woman out of her. Of course, for Naruto, he didn't mind the idea of a harem. In fact, he welcomed the idea. He wasn't against being with just multiple girls, but at the same time, he had to take some responsibility. He couldn't just go around having little Narutos and little such and suches out of wedlock. I mean, he had to have some standards now, didn't he? And I mean, this was more than he could take. And what was worse, Asuya was starting to get involved. The closet, it was starting to become claustrophobic and hot. Sweat was starting to run down a lot of areas, and a lot of things were starting to get out of hand. For Naruto, he thought that things were going to go terribly worse until finally, a multitude of basketballs fell down from the back. And then from walking out of there was a boy with black hair and a familiar orange scarf wrapped all around his face, leaving only one eye exposed. Ow, that hurt! What the Toby? Is that you? Oh, hey, sorry, I walked in and it was completely dark. My bad. Naruto was too embarrassed to really think about it, but wait a second. He walked in? The door was to the right. He walked in from the left? No. there's nothing but a wall. How the hell did Toby... Of course, though, they couldn't stay focused on it for too long because Irina walked in next, and, well, everyone had to scram. But still, though, how the hell did Toby get in from the left? But there was no point in thinking about it. For now, they had to stay focused on something else that was coming. Rias would let them all know that the rating game tournament was soon to take place, with all of the younger teams looking to establish themselves and gain a ranking. And of course, one of the teams competing would be the team of Diodora. And almost in a way to speak of the devil, Diodora would arrive during their meeting. Diodora had come with a proposal. As if all of the love letters and all of the gifts to Asya wasn't enough, now the guy was straight up trying to trade pieces for her. For Naruto, he was starting to get sick. This guy was desperate to have Asya, even though the girl already said no. Did the guy not understand boundaries and personal space? It was only when he let his true colors be revealed that Naruto had enough. However, when Diodora started to disrespect him, it was when Asya truly had enough, slapping the man in the face, making it very clear that she would not tolerate Naruto being spoken down to in such a way, or for the disrespect towards her friends. Diodora would take his leave, but he promised that their paths would cross again. Asya was a bit worried, but Naruto would reassure her. Nothing was going to happen on his watch, and he wasn't going to let Diodora or anyone else get to her in such a way. And for that, Asya was grateful. At the same time, everyone prepared themselves. The rating game coming soon at hand, and Azazel would also prepare them for what was to come. But of course, he was making his own preparations. As the night before the rating game began, there were just precautions being taken. Of course, you should always plan for the best, but expect the worst. When the next day arrived, and the rating game was set to begin, Rias and her team arrived to the dimensional space where they'd be doing battle. But of course, things never go as such. Because what happened next was an ambush. The Chaos Brigade were looking to make their assault, or at the very least those who were in support of the Chaos Brigade, who were growing in number day by day. Naruto and the others will all look to defend themselves in that moment, although Asya vanished instantly as she was snatched up in the arms of Diodora, who had betrayed the underworld faction to join in favor of the renegades who were working in alliance with the Chaos Brigade. With Diodora's treachery now made known, he and his forces would retreat to his castle. Naruto yelling in anger as Asya had been taken from his side. How could he have been so careless? His anger was almost ready to reach to the surface, but Rias grabbed his arm to control him. Rainier was also enraged as well, along with Zenobia. Out of all of the girls, those two were the closest to Asya. They were all like sisters, stronger in any bond than anyone could ever imagine. The idea of their precious Asya being taken away, it filled them with a deep-seated hatred. Naruto was followed behind Rias as they led the charge, in a race to get Asya back. To the surprise of everyone, Azazel, along with Rosvisa, members of the Asgardian set, along with Issei and his allies, arrived to the battlefield as well. Azazel expected that there could have been an attack, and as such, he planned ahead. However, the kidnapping of Asya changed everything. Naruto was already feeling himself being pushed to the limit, Issei trying his best to calm his brother down. Azazel would tell them to get Asya as quickly as possible. Naruto taking the word, everyone would follow his lead as they rushed to Diodora's castle. Once they were inside, Diodora tried to split them apart, attempting to play a game of divide and conquer. However, Naruto was not in the mood. Creating a multitude of shadow clones, they went through and dispatched of Deodora's best henchmen, as the main group made their way through the facility to get to where he was in his throne room and to Asuya. However, more and more creeps from their past attempted to dissuade them. Freed Sulzen being one of them, he transformed into a new monstrous state as he attempted to cut them off at the pass. He believed his power was more than equal to them. However, he'd be gravely mistaken. Before Naruto could even act, Reinair had already taken the charge, her and Akeno respectively, using a combination attack, the ninja style, light-wielding electric shuriken. This was a jutsu, where Reinair would create shurikens of light, and Akeno would coat them in her mystic lightning. The light itself was more than devastating of a power, but added with the destructive capabilities of lightning, Freed would find himself being sliced into a multitude of pieces, fried by the electricity, and left as nothing but a disgusting mush of what was once, if you could even call it, human. Before long, they would arrive to the throne room, Deodora sitting proudly, and with Asuya tied up within a binding hold, special shackles being made to keep her from escaping. "Deodora," Naruto would say. The Red Dragon Emperor. "I can't say I'm surprised that you would get here so fast, or that you would ignore my warnings. You dragons are all the same. And what's worse, you smell like a filthy yokai." Naruto was getting tired of that damn word. People calling him yokai this and yokai that. It was all supposed to go so differently. But you all just had to ruin it. Naruto, Rias, Reinair. "What?" Reinair would say. "Who do you think gave you the tip about Asuya? Who told you where to find her and what she had? You thought it was just by chance? It was me. Why? Why did you?" It was so simple. When I saw her that day, she was so beautiful, so sweet and so innocent. I just had to have her. I had to be the one to break her. "Break her?" Rias would say. "Come on now. We all have our kinks. For me, I love taking a sweet and innocent girl. I love filling her with hopes, dreams, and admirations. And then I love breaking them. I love to hear her scream in pain when all of her hopes are dashed away. And for Asuya, well, she has so much hope. Breaking her, it's like the ultimate release. Now granted, I thought getting her excommunicated would be enough, but then you all had to get involved and take her in and be a happy little family. But you know what? That just makes me all the more excited. Because she actually has faith that you're gonna save her. Except that's not gonna happen. No, here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna enjoy killing every last single one of you in front of her. I'm gonna make her watch as I make you beg for your lives and then I take them away. But you, Red Dragon Emperor, I'm gonna keep you alive. Barely. Just enough. Just enough for your pathetic face to watch as I ravage her. I want you to hear her scream out your name while I claim what's mine. Oh, you didn't hit that, did you? I mean, come on. I don't want the Red Dragon Emperor's sloppy seconds now, do I? I mean, it's my own version of Prima Nocta. Just to hear the agony in her voice when she... Theodora! Rias! Go ahead. Naruto would walk towards Deodora, donning the Red Dragon Emperor armor. Deodora's barrier would form around him. Come on! This is the power by the great Orpheus herself! There's no way in hell you're gonna... Before he could finish, Naruto smashed the barrier in one punch. Naruto's chakra, his aura of the dragon mixing together and growing stronger and stronger with every stride. Deodora attempted to counter and fight against Naruto, but it was pointless. Deodora writhing on the ground in pain after Naruto punched him into a wall. Deodora tried to get back to his feet as Naruto picked him up by the collar, the helmet leaving, and the piercing eyes of the red nine-tailed fox stared back into Deodora's eyes. The look into the crimson abyss that could fill any man with fear and terror. Listen to me, you pathetic piece of shit! If you ever come near Asia again, I swear on everything that I stand for, I will annihilate you! Don't you ever cross me again! Naruto would slam Deodora to the ground, leaving him unable to speak and unable to move. Naruto moving to where Asuya was being held and bound, removing her shackles and freeing her. The rage within Naruto's heart would finally begin to quell, everyone happy for the safety of their friend. Naruto, Asuya would say. Asuya, are you alright? He didn't do anything to you, did he? No, he didn't. I knew you'd come for me. Of course I am. We always will. I'm not gonna let anything bad happen to you. And I'm never going to let you out of my sight again. I'm so sorry, Asuya, I promise. Naruto would hold Asuya close as he hugged her tight. Asuya was happy to be in Naruto's arms. She could always depend on Naruto. She always had faith. It was her faith that made her strong. And honestly, it was her faith that made her beautiful. Naruto had love for all of the women in his life, all for different reasons. For Asuya, her faith was probably the most beautiful thing to Naruto. Despite all of the horrors that she had gone through, all of the pain and the suffering, the fact that she was able to move forward with a smile on her face, it's what filled Naruto with joy every time he saw her. Her faith, surprisingly enough, is what gave him strength. The idea that anyone would try to crush or take that away, that was something he'd never allow. Not as long as he had the strength to stop it. For now, though, things seemed to be going well. It was time for them to get out of there, to be honest, but Asuya wanted to say a prayer. The system had been changed so that now devils could pray as well, and for Asuya, she wanted to take advantage of it. She wanted to pray for all of the blessings and all of the beautiful things she had in her life, for everything she was grateful for. As she stood there and spoke silently within her heart, everyone standing quietly out of respect, a faint glow would appear around Asuya before she was quickly swallowed in it and disappeared. Everyone in the room would be stunned. They called out to Asuya, not knowing what had happened to her, not knowing where she had gone. And then finally, a new challenger would arrive. One by the name of Shelba. Shelba, one of the members of the old underworld factions, who opposed Sir Zex, the new king. He had come in the name of Orpheus, looking to enact his own revenge. Deodora stammered to his feet, believing that now he had an ally that would help him, only he was killed as well. Shelba only recognized true power, something that Deodora did not possess. The main focus now was on Asuya. What happened to her? She was just in his arms. Naruto would think. He just made that promise. How could it... Asuya? Asuya, where are you? Come on, please tell me you're playing with me. Come on. There's no point in calling her name. She has been sent to the dimensional gap. The where? Zenobia would say. Oh no. Koneko? The dimensional gap. A place where neither time or space exists. If she's there for too long of a time... Rias would shudder. She knew what it was like to be trapped there. And it was only because Loki had kept her in a force field during the events of Asgard that she was even able to survive while being imprisoned. Without it, Asuya, there's no point in worrying now. The bitch is dead. Everyone would shudder at the thought of Asuya, the idea that she would be gone. But Naruto, he was the most distraught. Asuya? Asuya, come on. I have to do something. Come on. Think, Naruto, think. I have to have a jutsu, a power. Come on, something. How? How am I so useless right now? The power of infinity is truly a devastating ability. The crimson power of domination does you no good, Red Dragon Emperor. It does you no good because you cannot save the ones you love. I must say it's rather pathetic. The idea that one of the most powerful beings in all of existence can be reduced to tears and to fall on his knees. Truly, how much worth can you possibly have? Naruto? Rainier would move to Naruto's side. The boosted gear, the gauntlet would glow as it spoke. Rainier, step aside. Dreg? Rias Grimmery. Yes? If you and your household do not want to die, then I suggest you leave. As for you, the one they call Shelba, you have made a grave mistake, and now you must pay. A dark red aura formed around Naruto, his skin beginning to burn away. Multiple tailed cloaks starting to form around him. 1 tails, 2 tails, 3 tails. Strangely enough, he began to morph into a red amalgamation as he entered into the 4-tail state. At 5 tails, a bone-like skeleton formed on the outside within his body. At the state of the 6 tails, he would sprout dragon wings as a red armor began to form around him and he began to grow in size. Everyone would be shocked. The roof of the castle beginning to break away as Shelba flew into the air, preparing himself for what was to come. Meanwhile, within the consciousness of Naruto's mind, he walked aimlessly in the dark. On his body, the seal had become loosened, and now with every step he took, the seal was beginning to break more and more. So, you have finally reached despair, have you not? The pain of reality will affect you no matter what world you live in. And now you come to me. You want revenge, don't you? Then unleash me. Unleash my power. Take it all and have your revenge. How did it ever come to this? Why? I don't know. I don't know anything anymore. Someone, please help me. Do it, Naruto. Take my power and show why you are superior. On the outside, multiple balls of light began to glow all around Naruto as the voices of the previous Red Dragon Emperors spoke in unison. I, who shall awaken. I am the heavenly dragon who stole the principle of domination from God. I mock the infinite and fret over the dream. I shall become the red dragon of domination. I shall drown you in the depths of crimson purgatory. I wield the power of the Nine Tails, the fox demon of hatred and wrath. You will burn in my flames, and I will reduce this world to cinder. Juggernaut drive! This concludes Naruto DxD, Sage Reborn. What if Naruto was in high school DxD? Season 3, Part 3. Stay tuned next week as we continue Naruto Rebirth Cycle of Hatred. What if Sasuke got the Rinnegan earlier? Part 8. But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with PowerCore Productions and Podcastings. Signing off, and I'll see you next time.